Hey guys, Mystic Eve here at Center of Mystic Arts in Costa Rica. Lots has been going on here at CoMA. A lot of changes, a lot of deaths and rebirths, a lot of new things happening, including the arrival of the High Priestess, which I've been waiting on for a while. And it feels really amazing and good. And that is why I haven't posted a video in so long. Been a bit preoccupied, energy's going in other places, but I am back, ready to do videos. I still have all of my content if you want to check it out, centerofmysticarts.com. I've got a Patreon account. I've got published journals on Amazon. I do divination sessions with cards and astrology. Just get in touch with me. Anyway, it's preferable. So these videos are going to change up a little bit too. I think I'm going to focus more on the solar party and not so much a collective reading. And today we're going to be talking about Leo Sun. Now, the solar party was a direct download that was given to me during Gnosis to specifically offer you a way to really get to know your astrology chart, get to know the planets personally, intimately, and be able to use them easier in your daily lives. Basically everything is a big party anyway. It's all light, frequency, and vibration. Nothing else really exists anyway. And these big balls of light, frequency, and vibration make up a big party. And the sun happens to be the birthday kid, right? Like without him, the party wouldn't be here. He's the center of the solar system. Duh. He is the life, the fire, the ego, the self of the party. Now, when you dress him up in Leo qualities, all you have to do to sink into that is sink into the feeling of a lion. Let your inner child imagine what it's like to be a lion. Bring in that pretend fantasy world. I spent most of my time as a kid as either a dog or a horse, personally, but lions are really cool to embody at certain moments. And we all have a lot to learn from the animals. And I mean, specifically as a shaman, I do a lot of that shape-shifting, mind sharing to tap into these gifts that the animals have. Anyway, the lion birthday kid, he's definitely seen at the party. Everybody knows that's the birthday kid. You know, you walk into a party and you're like, yeah, that's the one that this party is for. So we're going to use the cards to talk to this Leo birthday kid. The lion in itself is associated with the sun. Just the golden mane is very symbolic to giving light, omitting the power and light and rays outward. There's a lot of pride, there's a lot of power, and pride, pride being an interesting word in that we can either feel like it's too much, being prideful, and then not enough, because we all have to be proud of ourselves. And this lion really embodies this energy of, that you got to find that balance in between. So let's just see what this lion has to say. Okay. In the center, we have 9 of Swords. That is an interesting card. In this deck, the association with death, because of the number 9 being the completion, and the sword being the weapon that cuts, that severs the past. This card is like, do it now, do it or die, right? Like, I mean, do it or die is a very powerful mantra to sink into nowadays, especially. Take care of your body, taking care of our minds, taking care of our space, taking care of the planet, maybe. I mean, who else would the sun shine for if the planet wasn't here? We are the consciousness of this light, frequency, and vibration, of all of this party that's going on around us. This Leo sun definitely wants to speak of the end of the chapter and really starting anew. Death and rebirth. Death and rebirth. Look into that death. Let it go. Let it all go. Or if not, you're sinking into that too much pride. If you've got too much pride, this civilization and everything that humans have built can't be destroyed. That's being like, what, because you're proud of it? Like, are you really proud of the civilization that's going on nowadays? Like the school systems? Oh, that's a lot to be proud of. The judicial system, yeah, that's another one. The political system, yay. Thumbs up, guys, really. No. It's time for that shit to be reborn into a new. In the ethers, what do we have going on? We've got the 2 of Hearts. Of course, this is gonna show up. Because anytime you're dealing with a death and a rebirth, love, the accumulation of love should always be present. Keeping love and compassion in your mind. Kuan Yin. The 2. The 2 being, a young number. Balancing. Heart being the water. Emotional. Balancing our emotions. I mean, my God, especially when you're dealing with you know, the birthday boy at a party. You know, it's my party, I can cry if I want to. That comes to mind. The swing of the two, like, right? So you're like, you got your ups and your downs. You've got all of these emotions that are going on in your Leo sun head. But love has to be paramount. Okay. In the South, what's keeping us grounded? Oh, Two of Swords, another two. Interesting. So we've got the same energy that is holding us in place. The sword is the ether, it is the air, is the mind, and it's at the bottom. And the Two of Water, the Two of Hearts, is in the ethers. That's interesting placement. Maybe this is like, I mean, I'm almost feeling like Sword in the Stone kind of type feel, right? Like the sword, the mind, the ethers are what's keeping us grounded. Or needs to be pulled up. I mean, in this position, it can be one of the other. So this Leo sun has a lot to say. A lot that can be controversial. I mean, I just mentioned the school system, politics, oh, and not to mention religion. Yeah, that one too. Talk about controversial. I mean, yeah, I'm starting to feel like this is what's boiling up, right? This is in the ground. This is what we're digging into. This Leo sun. Looking at this communication. How are we going to communicate these radical ideas and not kill each other, maybe? I mean, you know, that's... A lot of people are going to be killing each other, and they do. It's you know, you can't ignore the fact that people all over the world are killing each other, and that killing the planet is also killing ourselves. That sword being the, you know. Hi, Luna. All right, so moving along. In the East, what do we have coming up to shed light on this? I mean, it's the sun, right? This Leo sun is coming up over the hill. Oh, it's the Ace of Wands. That's a great placement. That is the sun. That is this Ace of Fire. I mean, it's the biggest source of this wand fire energy that we know of in existence. That's pretty much an ace, if you ask me. The powers of sun worship is something that I started doing with awareness at the beginning of CoMA. So like 6 years ago. And when I started doing it, I tattooed the sun on my feet. Worship the sun in whatever way you want to. Personally, I like laying out naked and just being like, you know, vocal toning at the same time. I make sure that I greet the sun every morning and I give it energy. And I try to do it at sunset. That's a little bit harder for me when he goes away. I'm like, eh. But in the morning, definitely. I do like sunsets. I started scrying into the sun, and this has I can't even explain how many downloads and cities I have received through scrying into the sun. Give this birthday boy some energy. Yeah, and this Leo sun will also reflect that back, like so above, so below, so below, so above. It's important. In the West, what do we have at the end of the day? We are crawling in bed with another 2. My God, the 2s. 2 of diamonds. I mean, juggling resources comes to mind with this card. Anything material, the balancing of the materials. I mean, that for sure. If we're talking about, you know, death of the old, figuring out how we're going to consume our resources in a responsible way. Because, you know, they are dwindling. I mean, not to get you into scarcity mindset or anything, but, you know, I mean, there's only so much oil, there's only so much rock, there's only so many diamonds, there's only so much gold, there's only so much paper. We're in a sphere, in a circle, right? And it is really big. I get it. It can be so big that you actually believe that it's flat. The reality is that it is round and it has limitations. It's actually, if you compare it to the sun, actually pretty damn small. And to some of the other planets as well. Jupiter, for one, you know, he's the owner of the venue. He's the owner of the party. He owns everything. He's the biggest planet out there. Like, we are tiny compared to Jupiter. And when you think about our resources and what we're using, and like, you know, like especially when I'm on tour and I'm seeing construction sites and paper mills and mining areas where they're, you know, digging up the rock for gravel roads and gardens and filling up Home Depot with enough granite and gravel that 10 trillion homes can have all of these, you know, marble floors and copper fittings and, you know, anyway. At the end of the day, the resources are going to change the planet. The lack thereof, again, sorry, you know, I understand that we live in a world of abundance. For me personally, living my dream, keeping my vibration high is really important, but you know, I also feel very passionate about living as a minimalist as well. I feel good when I don't consume that many resources, you know. Not that that's the path for everyone, but anyway, the card. I mean, this could be money too. Like, at the end of the day, this Leo sun has to look into realistic tangibility of what he's able to do with his finances, with the coins, with the earth. That materialism. And the 2 being, you know, the balancing of the communication between. So, that concludes this spread with Leo Sun. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. you're traveling physically or mentally, may it be in love and light.